Now, one of the defense lawyers for those standing trial for the murder of Major Maxwell Adam Mahama at Denchobwase last year has accused the soldiers of protecting illegal miners. Lawyer George Bernard Shaw, during cross-examination of the late soldier's deputy W. Sabi Kwashi on Thursday, suggested Major Mahama was caught in a clash between the mining firm and a community which was against its operations. 14 persons are currently standing trial for the crime. But as Joy News' Joseph Akable reports, the family insists there are other perpetrators currently walking free.
At the previous court hearing, lawyer George Bernard Shaw was cross-examining Major Mohammed's deputy, W. Sabi Kwesi. This was after state prosecutors had concluded leading him to give evidence. During cross-examination, George Bernard Shaw claimed the mining company the soldiers were protecting, CNJ Alaska, had been written to by the Minerals Commission to halt operation in the Dwabo forest. Mr. Shaw also said the residents of Denchobwase had a frosty relationship with the company due to concerns they were degrading the forest. The activities of this company had become topical following the lynching of the then Army Captain Maxwell Mahama by some residents of Denchobwase. The DCE of the area, Daniel Apienin, was suspended by President Akufo-Addo following comments he made suggesting the company was engaged in illegal mining. W. Sabi, under cross-examination, said he was unaware of why they had been deployed to protect the company, but added they carried out their duties professionally. He, however, rejected a claim by lawyer Shaw that the military was deployed to the site because of the constant attacks on the company by the residents of Diaso. Mr. Shaw made reference to a letter written by the Minerals Commission asking the company to halt its mining activities, suggesting to the witness that the company was engaged in an illegal activity. W. Sabi said he was unaware of any such directive. The court has meanwhile ordered the head of department disclosure at Vodafone Ghana to make available phone records of the first accused person, William Ban, who is assemblyman for the area, on May 29, the day the soldier was lynched, and that of May 30, 2017. This follows an application made by his lawyer George Bernard Shaw saying access to the data will enable Mr. Ban put up his defense. This was not opposed by Chief State Attorney Evelyn Kelson. The case has been adjourned to June 5, 2018.
Now, Captain retired Dennis Mahama, who is a late soldier's father, has been monitoring proceedings closely and expressed worry about what he calls the failure by the prosecution to rope in all those involved in the murder of their kinsman. He tells Joseph Akable there are other perpetrators who would need to be brought to book.
So good, we are on it. We know that it's very slow and very frustrating, but we have to live with it. So that is why we are always in court. We want to follow the process, however slow it is. All that we want is justice for Major Maxwell Mahama.
How difficult is it for the family, having to come to court daily? I saw his younger brother also present in court. He just stepped away a short while ago. How is it tough for the family making it to court daily, the process dragging this slowly?
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. But we just have to hold ourselves as hard as possible and go through it. Like you said, you saw his junior brother. He came from London 5 days ago, purposely for the anniversary, which is coming on the 29th. 29th will be exactly 1 year that he passed away, and we're going to mark that day accordingly.
We'll get into that a bit, but Captain, the other issue has to do with earlier, the family had raised concerns about the number that had been brought before the court, that many people were seen, but only 14. Is this something that you've moved away from, or you still have those concerns?
No, we can't move away from that. You heard it loud and clear from our family spokesperson the other day that according to witnesses or people who watched the video of how the major was killed, they describe it as a mob of over not less than 50 people, some with stones, some with guns, some with sticks, cudgels, and even others who prevented him from escaping. We believe that they are all accomplices, and our law says that any accomplice to a crime is equally guilty of that crime. So we have been thinking that there shouldn't be not less than 50 people here, because it's the people who are involved in contributing in one way or the other to get him killed are more than 50. But I take consolation from the fact that the police are still on it. These 14 that are being tried cannot be all. we know that, well, they'll be tried, but the police is still on the heels of any others and still looking for more information to gather more people involved in this dastardly act. And at the appropriate time, when they get them, we will be coming to court again.
Captain, I heard you say those who have watched. Am I to understand that almost a year you've still not been able to, look at it yourself?
No, I can't watch. I can't watch it. I'm even unable to listen to the whole story from people who have watched it. I can't watch. I've never watched. And I don't think I can watch. I haven't watched and I'm even suffering. So I can't.
Let's talk about the 1 year anniversary. How do you intend to mark it? What series of activities? The media obviously must be invited.
It's all about commemoration of the 1 year anniversary, which will take place on the 29th of May. On that 29th, we'll attend a church service and, at the Bema camp there, and then proceed to the cemetery to lay wreaths. And then we gather at the Arakan Officers Mess as a family until 1 o'clock, when we move to a site that will be informed about later for the sword cutting.
For a monument in honor?
The construction of a monument in his honor. The government has approved of a monument and they are going ahead to demonstrate their commitment to it. So there's going to be a sword cutting on that 29th.
You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break, but still ahead in the bulletin. Parliament is objecting to an invitation extended to its member from Laura Anthony Kabo by the police to assist with investigations into allegations the president of the Ghana Football Association, Kwesi Nyantechi, fraudulently used the name of Ghana's president, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. Now, Joy News is also learning that though the MP failed to honor the invitation, an agreement has been reached for him to turn himself in on Monday. We will be bringing you that and more, as well as a statement from the Ghana Football Association on this matter. Stay tuned. Parliament has expressed displeasure over an invitation extended to the Member of Parliament for Laura by the police to assist with investigations into the alleged fraudulent use of the president's name by the GFA president. Anthony Kabo, who is also Deputy Roads Minister, was invited by the Criminal Investigations Department, having been mentioned by FA President Kwesi Nyantechi in an expose by investigative journalist Anas Aremeyo Anas. The MP's colleagues, however, say the invitation is in direct breach of the Constitution and the standing orders of the House. Second Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, ruled on the matter after it was brought to his attention.
History has taught us to iron out some special rights to protect representatives. The special rights includes procedures. Since we are all subject to the laws of the land, in trying to get a member to respond to allegations of criminal nature, there are procedures to be followed by the state institutions and officials. And those procedures include first getting the information across to the Right Honorable Speaker and making available whatever evidence at the disposal of that state agency. And the Speaker will go through whatever evidence they have and then decide whether there is a situation of a privilege or of immunity or of any special right. If that happens, definitely the mace, which is the authority of the House, is applied in those situations, and the member is granted the liberty to go to perform his or her duty.
Joy News is learning the police administration is yet to formally notify Parliament on its intention to have the MP for Laura assist them in their investigations. Deputy Majority Whip Matthew Yindam says until the Speaker's office is notified, the MP will not assist the police.
We have the laid down procedures that the police can use to invite a member of Parliament. He has to officially, the police institution has to officially write to the Speaker, inviting the member through the Speaker before that member can appear before any court or any interrogation or being the police or whichever thing. But I spoke to the deputy minister personally, and he has indicated that yes, it's true that he's been invited, but he's not been arrested like people are alleging. And he has indicated strongly that he's a member of parliament and the right thing must be done. Unfortunately, the IGP also, or whoever invited him, realized that no, they erred by sending the invitation or whichever thing to him. They need to write officially to Parliament for Parliament to respond to that invitation.
I hope this is not bringing any confusion between Parliament and the police.
No. That if you take the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, we are not above the law. And let's state it clearly that no member of Parliament is above the law. Even the President is not above the law. But we have procedures to execute some of these things. And for that matter, it's not going to bring any friction. I remember when Okujato Ablakwa made some kind of statement, the BNI walked in here, we invited him as a leader or leadership level, and then they came and we all sat down and we spoke about it, and that was it. So it is a laid down procedure that they have to officially write to the Speaker of Parliament, and then the Speaker will then produce the member for any interrogation that will have to be done.
The issue was brought to the floor of Parliament by two members on the minority side, though it relates to an MPP member. Member of Parliament for Adaklu in the Volta region, Kwame Agboja, governs, tells Joy News the House is only ensuring provisions in the Constitution are respected.
This issue is not about saying members of Parliament are above the law. We got the indication that our colleague was being invited by the police in a related matter of GFA. Our background check suggests that we know the Speaker himself and then the first Deputy Speaker were out of the jurisdiction. The second Deputy Speaker was the one in the chair. So we sought to get the clarification as to whether our colleagues' rights are being ignored. Indeed, you listen to the Speaker saying that as of the time I raised the issue on the floor, he was not aware of any official communication either from a court or from the police requesting the appearance of our colleague. I'm a member of the opposition. That doesn't mean that I would support any attempt to take out to ignore the rights of any citizen. It doesn't matter whether our colleague is in NPP and I'm in NDC. What the Constitution says, we must all respect the Constitution. And once again, we encourage the state institutions, the police especially, to actually adhere to what the Constitution says.
Well, the Ghana Football Association has said its president, Kwesi Nyantakyi, isn't a flight risk following police probe into allegations he used the name of President Akufo-Addo fraudulently in its very first reaction to recent events that led to the arrest and subsequent bail of Kwesi Nyantakyi. The GFA confirmed his boss was under investigation. Now let's get on to their website because they have put that statement on the website. It says on Tuesday, May 22, 2018, there was an activation of the relevant state institutions to probe into issues relating to the president of the Ghana Football Association, Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi, in the yet-to-be-released documentary by Anas Aremeo Anas. Though the president of the GFA was on official duties outside the country, he cut short his trip and returned to Ghana on May 23, 2018. On his arrival, he was escorted to the CID headquarters where he was interrogated, a statement taking and subsequently granted bail. Presently, he is helping the police with their investigations. The president remains innocent until he is proven guilty of all charges leveled against him. The GFA president, being a law-abiding citizen, respects the law. He is not a flight risk and has indicated his willingness and availability to the investigative authority anytime he is required to do so. Following a meeting of the Executive Committee of the GFA on Thursday, the body wishes to state that nothing has changed in terms of the GFA hierarchy, and Mr. Nyantakyi still remains the president of the Ghana Football Association. Any statement contrary to this must be disregarded. We wish to reiterate that Mr. Nyantakyi has the full support of the Executive Committee of the Ghana Football Association. All offices and outlets of the GFA remain fully functional, and we confirm that all scheduled activities of the Federation continue without any hindrances. We urge all our stakeholders and members to remain calm during this period. Now, the police says it will need more time if it is to furnish the media with relevant information on ongoing investigations into the alleged use of President Akufo-Addo's name fraudulently by GFA President Kwesi Nyantakyi. Deputy Director of the Criminal Investigations Department, ACP Awaji Nyakon, was responding to a request for an update on the investigation.
In respect of the invitation of the Deputy Minister for Roads and Highways, I want to emphasize and to inform you that nobody has invited him to come and assist with investigations. Investigations has just commenced, and we appeal to the press to give us ample time to enable us come confidently to you with whatever findings that we have.
Right, so this is just about all that the police is saying publicly as far as the investigations into the activities of Kwesi Nyantakyi, the GFA president, is concerned. But Joy News has been picking up information from our sources within the Ghana Police Service about what has been taking place, especially regarding the invitation of the MP for Laura by the police to assist with investigations, and which turned out that or the police had to backtrack. Now, Evans Mensah has joined me in the studio, and he has been following the story for quite a while now. So, Evans, let's start from the morning when we broke the news about the fact that the MP for Laura had been invited by the police.
So, Anthony Abayefa was called by a superintendent of the CID and invited to come and assist with investigations. And obviously after he was called, he obviously was alerted to the constitutional provision that governs such invitations when it has to do with a member of parliament. And so, of course, his colleagues in parliament were alerted, and which then leads to the conversation on the floor of parliament that there's no way they're going to allow him to honor that invitation unless the CID writes formally to the speaker requesting for some sort of a waiver to allow him to go and answer the questions that the CID were looking to put to him. Subsequent to that, obviously, then the police itself, and if you have played that clip a bit longer, you had the police denying that they've invited him. But subsequently, the majority whip, Mr. Nyindam, who actually on the floor of Parliament was leading the Parliament's, I guess, push to stop him from honoring that invitation, insisting that exactly speaks to Cabo. Cabo confirms to him that yes, he's been invited verbally, and that he's required to come and answer questions relating to Mr. Nyantakyi's troubles with the law, but then they believe that the right thing is not just to speak to him directly, but he should stay put until the right thing is done. Subsequently, negotiations happened between the police and the lawyers for Cabo and himself. An agreement was reached that next week he would honor that invitation, because by then Monday the speaker would have arrived, he would have seen the formal request, and then sort of allow him to go. So we expect him to be at the police CID to answer questions Monday 10 a.m.
Do we know if he refused to honor the invitation by the police because of this particular clause?
Well, from what Parliament itself had said today, it appeared that it didn't. I won't use the word refuse. It was exercising the right under Article 117, which says that in essence, if the member of Parliament is on his way to or from attending to business of the House, you cannot serve him within the process. He was just exerting that right, and that is fundamentally that.
Which provision in itself is being contested?
True.
There are those who say that it isn't exactly the way Parliament is seeking to have us believe.
The particular bit is where Parliament is now insisting that the Speaker is written to formally. And lawyers like something like that had insisted that that is not part of the law. It's not. He describes it as this self-serving protocol that Parliament had invented, so to speak. It's not in the law. All that the law says is essentially that you cannot serve the member of Parliament when he's attending to or is from parliamentary business, and so it's in contest. And some have even suggested that let's test it at the Supreme Court, so that it becomes a bit more clear. But be that as it may, we now know it's been settled. He's going to go anywhere next week.
All right. Thank you very much, Evan Spencer, bringing us that update. There you're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break to bring you business news.
Hello again, good evening to you and welcome to business. Now, Unilever Ghana says it is ready to engage government to find a lasting solution to the influx of inferior imports into the Ghanaian market. The company has expressed its resolve to face any competition with products of high quality standards while protesting against other products that are dumped into the country to pose unhealthy competition on the market. Board chairman of the Unilever, Edward Ifa, made the announcement in an answer to the media after the company's 44th annual general meeting in Accra.
The influx of cheap imported fast consumer goods from Asia, Europe and other neighboring countries who use Ghana's market as a dumping ground is said to be affecting operations of many industrial companies in the country. Unilever, in collaboration with the Ghana Standards Authority, has held several engagements to curb the menace, but has so far proven futile. Addressing journalists after Unilever's annual general meeting, board chairman of Unilever Ghana, Edward Ifa, said the company, in conjunction with the Association of Ghana Industries, will continue to engage government in finding a lasting solution to the situation.
Like Unilever works with government and the AGI and other parties, the Ministry of Finance, to ensure that Ghana is not being used as a dumping ground for goods from overseas, and that even with the Standards Board and all the rest of them, that the goods which come into the market are good quality products. So you may not be aware, but the Standards Board and Food and Drugs and all of them, they do test goods, they seize them from time to time, and it's part of an ongoing exercise so that we ensure that goods which are coming in are of similar quality, they are not harmful to us, because a global company like Unilever puts a lot of research and development to ensure that we get good products for people to use, that they are not harmful in any way, whether it's toothpaste, whether it's soaps, all the categories we operate in. Whereas somebody else may import something from Asia, it's cheap, it's dumped on the market, they undercut prices, it looks nice on the shelf, and consumers may not be that discerning because they might just look at the price and go and buy it.
The company for the year 2017 invested about 21 million cedis in the business through technology and innovation. The company's revenue for 2017 grew by 16% due to increase in volumes sold for the year. Yo Zibiton is chief executive of Unilever Ghana and explains further.
And we do that with the highest level of commitment and the highest level of integrity. I think if you're looking for a strategy in those three, a simple statement, that is what it is. And we will continue driving the business in that direction, since you asked the question about how we sustain it. At the end of the day, as Mr. Chairman has mentioned it during the session, we've been here for 98 years. We intend to remain here for the next 100 years. And the only way we can do that is by adding value to the people of Ghana and to the economy of Ghana.
The shareholders approved a dividend of 25 pesos per share from the profits to all members.
Now, former Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Professor Ajimambedu Akosa, is urging Ghanaians to be prepared to pay more for the success of the National Health Insurance Scheme. Addressing participants at the opening ceremony of the Maiden Joy Business Health and Wellness Trade Show, he outlined some strategies to help sustain the scheme.
I said, look, make it an open policy the first year. Of course, if you do not pay at the end of the first year, you don't get benefit the second year. In other words, you owe 2, and you've got to pay the 2 before you can reap. But if harvest is, let's say, April to June, as soon as they make the money, they pay. Cocoa farmers in this country are not rich people. But when it comes to the time that they sell their cocoa, they make money. And in all of them, you go to Bodier, in Dadieso, and all those places in the Western region. Instead of a 25-kilo bag, the system there says make it a 26-kilo bag. The 1 kilo is used for community development. So I even suggested that for those places you can make it a 27-kilo bag, and the 1 kilo extra goes into national health insurance. After all, if you're healthy, you're sound. You understand? You can go to your farm and do your work. Of course, that wasn't accepted. And I kept saying, look, those who cereals, corn, sorghum, all those things, you can virtually add just 1 kilo on their bag, and that will fund. And they would not even see that they would have made that contribution. Then I said, look, at that time, 1 guinea fowl was 7 cedis, 50 pesos. And you want to tell me that anywhere in the north, people cannot ensure that they have 1 guinea fowl to pay health national insurance for a year? Even in Subin, almost 25% of registered people were registered as indigents. Subin in Kumasi. I mean, why were we doing that? In other words, we were just colluding with people and making everybody an indigent. But of course, if you insist that people should pay within the first 2-3 months, that is what will happen.
And at the health and wellness trade show itself, several health industry players exchanged ideas on how to improve access to quality health care in the country. The event attracted a number of exhibitors who displayed their products and services, while some participants were offered competitive and discounted products. Charles Aiti has more.
Day 1 of the Joy Business Health and Wellness Trade Show saw several participants troop to the Accra Digital Center to find for themselves solutions to their health challenges and to showcase their unique healthcare products and services. From alternative medicine, health insurance to massages, Joy Business engaged some exhibitors who expressed genuine satisfaction about the trade show.
So I think it's been a good initiative because we've had these people coming in and out there. So I think it's been okay so far. We have the BP and we have your weight too. So if you want to check your weight, if you want to check your BP, you can come in.
It has been a great show. We appreciate Joy FM's initiative. It has been a perfect show for me.
The Joy Business Health and Wellness Trade Show, which is under the theme Leveraging Technology and Research for Sustainable Access and Affordability, also saw some exhibitors share what they had on offer.
What is happening here? I mean, I'm seeing you cooking, but is it just cooking that you're doing?
Really, all we are doing here is we are turning food back into the natural medicine for the body. So right now, we are just cutting up here some salads, but the truth is that we are making this food healthy. We are retaining up to 93% of the nutrients in the food. So we are frying chicken without oil. We are not saying all oils are bad, but reduce quantities of it really to help with a lot of the lifestyle illness like high blood pressure, high diabetes, which is so prevalent these days. So this chicken is frying in its own natural oils at this point in time. And then here we're using our world famous Salad Master food processor. It's been in production since 1946, 72 years, and this is what got our company the name. It makes fresh salads and it cuts your kitchen time in half as well. So imagine doing this beautiful 3-item salad in less than 1 minute for 20 people. Fantastic.
That's great. So what is it that you're selling? Is it the equipment or the meals?
We are selling health through food. Every time you go to the doctor and you're diagnosed with some kind of illness, usually they tell you to watch what you're eating, aside from prescribing the drugs. So we are saying, okay, eat, but eat it right. If you go to a nutritionist and they prescribe a meal for you, eat it and eat it right by getting maximum nutrition, which is the natural nutrients in the food, into your body.
The 3-day event will end on Saturday, May 26th.
Now, some more patrons expressed their interest in the maiden show as they interacted with my colleague Sandra Afenu.
A lot of activities are ongoing right now. People are coming in to know their health status, and exhibitors are also exhibiting. So we want to speak to some of the patrons that are here to actually know how they feel while they are here. So I have somebody who is actually enjoying some, is it foot massage or what is it?
This is aqua chi massage.
Aqua chi massage. Okay. So you've been here earlier. I saw you with a pranic massage. What did you feel?
By then I was having pains all over my body. But after the whole thing, I feel better now.
I see. So why are you here? You want to check your health status, obviously, but has your expectation been met?
Oh yeah. I think so.
So you had all this for free?
Oh well, the other one is free, but this one I paid 20 Ghana cedis for it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we hope to see you tomorrow. You are going to spread the word so that people can come, right?
Oh yeah, of course, yes. By tomorrow, if God will, then I'll bring my wife and my kids here.
Have you tried anything yet?
Not yet, but I've taken my body mass and everything. I'm here to take the detox and then go for the body prank. Okay. But the body prank, my mother has gone through it before. She was having some knee pain, and we invited somebody home, and then the person came to do it. So when I came around and I've seen that it's being done, I decided to also partake in it.
And we still have a lot of people. That's one of the most interesting things happening here. It's called the pranic healing, and a lot of people are doing it. I will certainly have my turn, but we want to speak to somebody who's actually been through this process. During the process, what was the feeling like?
Well, I'll get to know when I get to the house, or the way I'll sleep today will determine, because for now I wasn't having specific pains or any problem for me to know that it's gone or not gone. So let me go to the house. When I sleep, I'll get back to them tomorrow and give them a report.
I'm here to have my turn as free pranic healing session. So free for you? Yes, free for me. So watch me have after that, I'll tell you my experience. It's not working. It's been over 30 minutes, and apparently I have the longest time so far. I don't know what's wrong with me, and don't ask me how I feel, because I want you to be here tomorrow to have this experience yourself. So from the Joy Business Health and Wellness Trade Show, my name is Sandra Mapenu. I'll be here tomorrow, so please, if you're watching, come here to the Accra Digital Center to be part of this health show.
So, of course, there's going to be a lot more excitement at the Health and Wellness Trade Show tomorrow at the Accra Digital Center. My name is Emmanuel Apuachi. That's all in business tonight. Many thanks for watching. Have a good evening.
Now, members of Vigilante Group Seidu Kotoko on Thursday morning besieged the Swami Divisional Headquarters in Kumasi, demanding answers as to why a young man was killed by police officers. It took armed military and police personnel from the Operation Calm Life Division to restore calm. The group said Halidu Lawal was unarmed and posed no threat to officers at the time he was shot and killed. Witnesses told Love News' Erastus Asaradonko they saw the young man running away from the police after being shot.
So these men are here today very, very angry, as you can see in there, and they have just one message and one question. They want to ask the district police commander for Swami why their relative was gunned down late yesterday. We understand that Alidu Lawal, 28 years, was gunned down by police at Amanfrom on the Barakesi Road. Now, these people say he was innocent, he was unarmed, and so they do not understand why he should be gunned down and not even shot in the leg or demobilized, as they say. And so they are demanding answers, and that is why they are here today in their numbers.
Somebody even is holding something, you have to shoot the person's leg or his arm before you get him down. Not to shoot him without anything. That person is lying lying down on his photo, and you kill him without reason. And we've been seeing if they kill somebody in Ghana, whether in wherever, they'll put the person down and put the evidence down, and then take a picture. All the right has been given to everybody, each person. So we need our own as a single community. If not, if something is happening, he is the one who caused for us to be killed. Because we are not going to be lying down every day for people to be killing us like a chicken. We can't. We can't be killed like chicken. And then they'll be giving us the charges. Why are they going to be doing that? Why is the right? Is it a Ghana law to just see somebody and then shoot him and kill him, whether he's only an arm?
So as you can see, we have military reinforcement brought in at the moment. So currently they are in talks with the leader, Wan Seidu, and he is also talking with the members at the moment over there to calm them down as we speak.
They say we should take his dead body for burial, but that's not what we want. We need him alive. If not that, they should take him, or they should explain to us what exactly he did for them to kill him.
So this is Amanfrom, and this place is called Pula place. This is where the incident occurred, and this is where we are learning that the gentleman in question was shot.
Oh, the man say, "Answer no, me pick up no problem na say to ni be kasa no. Na bla bi gina ho. No mo wo no say o mo kanim. Te ba sa no. Na wo hwa no mo group mo nam. Npa be 3 into 2."
The police were here to arrest some boys who have been defrauding people at this place. I saw a man being forced into a pickup. They were beating him and forcing him to the pickup. Before they came, the men were standing by the roadside. So the arrest of one of the 3 made the others run, and the police followed him and shot him, but he didn't die instantly.
Oh, it won't be any idea yesru. Nti hayana ituni kasaye nti ituni kasaye na neze yakoye chikakra nye hwede umuso be.
So he was not dead when they picked him, and they picked him from there, moved him across this length, and you can see the blood traces all on the ground up to where the pickup was. And I was asking him that if he was not dead, did they rush him to the hospital? He said no. They delayed for about 30 minutes. He was in a pickup, and they stood here for about 30 minutes before they left. So whilst he was in the pickup, they saw that he was still breathing at that particular moment. So this is what happened here.
Elsewhere, a 5-member committee has been inaugurated to look into last Thursday's violence in the Upper West Region town of Tumu, which claimed the lives of 2 persons, including a 17-year-old boy. Property was also destroyed in the incident. The committee is chaired by the Wa Circuit Court Judge Justice Ba Forsing Ejepong and has 7 days from next Monday to complete the investigation. Regional Minister Alhaji Suleimana Al-Hassan, who inaugurated the committee, described the incident as one of the darkest in the history of the Upper West Region, adding that those found culpable would be punished. Joy News' Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
Upper West Regional Minister Alhaji Suleiman Al-Hassan did not hide his feeling on last Thursday's disturbance at Tumu, which led to the death of 2 persons, promising that those found culpable in the dastardly act will be duly punished.
The recent disturbances or occurrences in Tumu, leading to the death of 2 persons and the destruction of property, is unacceptable. The incident will remain as one of the darkest spots in the history of this region.
Alhaji Suleimana, who is also the chairman of the Upper West Regional Security Council, RECSEC, said there is the need to investigate deeply into the incident and all other matters related to it in order to find a lasting peace in Tumu and the Upper West region. A 5-member committee chaired by the Wa Circuit Court Judge Justice Ba Forsing Ejepong has been inaugurated by the Regional Security Council to look into the issue. The committee has been given a week starting from next Monday to complete their work.
We expect them to ascertain the conduct of citizens in Tumu, especially the youth, in the matter. 4. to assess the extent of property destroyed in the course of the disturbances. They are also to evaluate and examine any other matter relating to the incident.
Chairman of the committee, Justice Baforson Ajapong, thanked the Upper West Rexec for the confidence reposed in them.
We will do our utmost best to do a good job, to come out with a quality report that will ensure that such incidents will never, that is our hope, happen in this region again. We pray the Almighty God to assist us to come out with such a report.
The other committee members are Adam Tawfiq, Brian Razak, Kora Mahmoud Zakaria, and Danyumo Emmanuel. A deputy director at the Upper West RCC has been appointed to act as a secretary in ex officio capacity. Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
Now, justice for multimedia journalist Latif Idris may tarry a while longer as the police service says it's unable to locate CCTV footage implicating personnel who brutalized him at the CID headquarters. According to the Director General of the Police Professional Standards Bureau, COP Nathan Kofi-Boakye, Latif hasn't been able to identify his attacker since the assault occurred in the night. My colleague Kwesi Parker-Wilson has more.
It's been about 2 months since News journalist Latif Idris was allegedly assaulted by officers of the Ghana Police Service at the CID headquarters in the line of duty. The officers who allegedly brutalized the journalist were deployed to deal with protesters at the CID headquarters when the NDC's Deputy General Secretary Kokwa Hindo was arrested. Medical report after 4 X-ray examinations and a CT scan points to a fractured skull. Thus intensify the call for justice for Latif, but that cry would have to wait a while longer. COP Nathan Kofi-Boakye addressing the media on police operations for the first quarter says the service is unable to locate CCTV footages implicating the alleged attackers.
We are yet to get the CCTV footage of the event, and all those around could not identify the culprits because it was dark and in an alley we couldn't. So we are still trying to identify the policeman. If through our CCTV and other things we are able to identify the policeman, then the law will take its course. But agreeably, if the person assaulted cannot identify them, then most of us to use other means to identify the policemen, which we are actually doing.
Director of Operations of CID ACP Joseph Jamal also indicated that crime rate across the country has reduced in the past few months. He is attributing the downward trend to prudent measures taken by the police.
Crime intelligence units, which hitherto existed only at the CID headquarters, is now being replicated at the various regional headquarters, with the first one having been established at the Accra regional headquarters. The purpose is to detect and foil crime before they are committed. Again, drug law enforcement units, with the assistance of UNODC, are being established in the northern, Volta, eastern, and Brong Ahafo regions. The offices in Ashanti and western regions have already been established. This is to effectively fight and manage drug-related offenses. All these measures are to ensure that the incidence of crime within the country is brought to its lowest ebb.
Meanwhile, we're told by the Ghana Police Service that the policeman whose stray bullet killed a 51-year-old steel bender at Timber Market here in Accra is still on the run weeks after the incident. COP Kofi-Boakye says efforts have been made to arrest him.
Policeman absconded. We have not been able to locate him. He has absented himself from duty, which in itself is a cause for disciplinary action. So if you absent yourself for 14 days, that in itself, 21 days, that will lead to your dismissal. So, and it's more than 21 days. So, maybe consequently you will be dismissed. But we are looking for to face the charge of murder, and looking for him. And all relevant agencies have been in that direction.
Security analyst Dr. Vladimir Chudanso has hinted that the Supreme Court ruling on the long-standing dispute in Bimbilla in the northern region is not a panacea to peace. On Wednesday, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Dasana family of Bimbilla, upholding their claim to the skink, while the rival claimant Nakpa Na Dawuni family's case, according to the ruling, lacked merit. The judgment affirmed the National House of Chiefs ruling on the matter in 2014. The 15-year-old conflict has led to many deaths, but speaking to Joy News on the sidelines of a high-level dialogue in commemoration of the International Day for United Nations Peacekeepers, Dr. Vladimir Chudanso stressed the need for renewed security mechanisms amid the jubilations.
This ruling is not going to end the hostility, the antagonism between the factions. Whilst we should respect Supreme Court or any other court decisions, I would believe that the government and all interested parties should work underground to make sure that the situation does not lead to more bad blood. I'm saying this in hindsight of Dagbon, for example. The Supreme Court decision did not end the Dagbon crisis. It is simply because adjudications are based on facts and data, what is before them. Other nuances that may not have been documented, cultural practices, and that sort of thing. This is exacerbating and on and on and on up till today. Even though there was an adjudication process, we haven't seen an end to one. From that, whilst I pray the two factions accept and find a way forward, we need to also help them from arbitrary processes that will bring about lasting peace. The government is taking preventive measures, knowing well that in adjudicative processes, such situations will happen. One faction is not going to accept.
Meanwhile, Dr. Chudanso denied reports of recent alleged sexual misconduct of some Ghanaian peacekeepers in South Sudan and other countries would affect the credibility of Ghana's peacekeeping contribution. Early this year, a three-member delegation was deployed to South Sudan to investigate the allegations leveled against some Ghanaian police peacekeepers sent to that country. Dr. Chudanso believes though those found culpable by the ongoing investigations would be punished, he doubts a scandal could have dire impact on Ghana's mission credibility.
Well, there are two things. Number one, the UN itself frowns upon such behavior and has a way of punishing such persons. And then the troop contributing country, this time Ghana or any other countries that are involved, have a way of punishing their own compatriots. For example, some people were brought down from mission areas. In Liberia, we had instances where some Ghanaian officers misconducted themselves. When you see a summon from your commanding officer about you are coming home, and if there are criminal aspects of it, you are not left off the hook. You're coming home either to face court martial or face a civilian court. So these measures are taken. They know, persons know that this is abhorrent. I mean, the UN frowns upon it. Before they go, they're told. And human beings being who we are, greedy, sinful, to test, so people will continually fall prey to these temptations. And so for us, it's not anything which we think could not have happened. We all know that it could have happened, and it has happened.
Joy News is learning the Eastern Regional Health Directorate has launched investigations into the death of a 21-year-old and her triplet due to allegations or following allegations of negligence by some nurses of the Eastern Regional Hospital in Koforidua. Although authorities have been tight-lipped on the matter, sources of the health director tell Joy News the acting regional health director, Dr. Albert Antobre Boateng, has set up a 4-member committee to look into the circumstances surrounding the issue. Correspondent Kofisian Miwa reports husband of the deceased has resolved to take legal action against the hospital. Samuel Mauli says he needs help from lawyers since he has no money to hire one.
The deceased, Soji Priska, according to her family, was first admitted at the Suhum Government Hospital last Thursday while in labor. But due to her condition, she was referred to the regional hospital in Koforidua for further examination. Health professionals there were said to have administered oxygen and intravenous infusion on her. His husband, Samuel Mauli, his sister, who was with her at the hospital, accused nurses of negligence. He says they failed to attend to the Priska when her condition became worse. According to him, she was rushed to the theater to undergo an operation after she fell from her bed and bled profusely.
My sister, through my sister's story, or what she witnessed, she went to see my wife on the bed and she was complaining about pain. So he went out to inform the nurses about it, and the nurses responded to her that, "Are you a doctor?" Whilst they were chatting, others were looking at the watching TV at the ward. So she went back to see my wife lying on the floor, and blood was flowing along his arm. Meanwhile, where they put the drip, and she was she took what you call a toilet roll to clean her.
Mauli told me his wife, Priska, was pronounced dead after delivering triplets who also died instantly.
So I called my sister to go and see the case. My sister went there to see what is there. And what my sister told me is that the case are no more.
Family of the deceased, according to Mauli, has objected to an autopsy the hospital has promised to fund because they suspect a compromise.
Left there and I called my wife's relatives, the family. I told them about the matter. They told me they should not do the post-mortem, neither to tie the woman.
Health practitioners are calling for a league table on the safety records of hospitals as part of measures to enhance healthcare delivery across the country. This comes on the back of recent reports of treatment of patients mostly resulting in fatalities. Healthcare practitioners say alleged negligence cost the country millions of cedis annually. To eliminate these occurrences in the sector, the Executive Director of the Africa region of the Institute of Healthcare Improvement, Dr. Soji Tete, says it is time for the Health Ministry and allied agencies to fully implement policies intended to ensure the safety of patients across the country. Nancy Mefajra-Dozie has more in this report.
There have been multiple reports about negligence and abuse of patients, with the most recent involving a 21-year-old woman who died with her triplets following alleged negligence at the Eastern Regional Hospital in Koforidua. But speaking to Joy News, Executive Director of the Africa region of the Institute of Healthcare Improvement, Dr. Soji Tete, believes such practices cost the country millions of cedis. He says it is time for the Health Ministry and allied agencies, including health facilities, to implement fully policies intended to ensure the safety of patients across the country.
A lot of policies being rolled out, but I think that the gap is that some of these policies tend to remain on shelves. I think the approach at the level of the ministry has to be one to acknowledge the fact that we have deep problems that need to be addressed. That aside, the facilities themselves, the times that help have spent directly investigative bodies to be able to, get evidence. Some of them have to go to, they have to pay legal costs, and they have to pay huge compensation. That could be plowed back into the service. So I would say that the cost goes even beyond what the patient pays, and we all tend to suffer from it.
Meanwhile, Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority, Professor Alex Jojo, is calling for the establishment of a health league table on the safety records of hospitals as measures to enhance healthcare delivery. This, according to him, will allow the performance of health practitioners to be assessed effectively and dealt with appropriately in case of any allegations.
There are deep issues in the healthcare sector. We've known it for years, but we are saying that no, enough is enough. It's about time now that we begin to look at healthcare patients as our customers who deserve the best that Ghana can offer. We believe that a lot of the systems have to do with all of us healthcare professionals. Nurses saying they are sleeping, so even though there's a bed, they say there are no beds. Pharmacists not reading the prescription well and just giving something and then causing problem, or not advising the patient such that medicines which should be inserted into the, I know sometimes it's swallowed. For some countries there are league tables of health facilities. The rate at which they look after patients, the number of surgeries which lead to fatalities or not. So you know that in this hospital more people died than the next hospital. When you begin to have league tables, you can assess people objectively, because obviously when you have a league table, you specify the way you're going to evaluate people and you publish it.
Some medical facilities represented at the health symposium agree there is a need to ensure safety of patients across the country. Nancy Emefa Jadosi, Joy News.
And in the headlines, Parliament objects to an invitation extended to its member from Laura, Anthony Cabo, by the police to assist with investigations into allegations the president of the Ghana Football Association fraudulently used the name of Ghana's president, Nana Akufo-Addo. Joy News is learning, though the MP failed to honor the invitation, an agreement has been reached for him to term himself in on Monday. One of the defense lawyers for the 14 suspects being tried for the murder of Army Major Maxwell Mahama at Dentroboase last year has accused the soldiers of providing cover for a mining firm that was operating illegally. The Major Mahama family, meanwhile, wants further arrests to be made. In business, several health industry players and participants exchange ideas on how to improve access to quality healthcare in the country at the opening of the maiden edition of the Joy Business Health and Wellness Trade Show.